Oh, good morning. It's chilly out there. Got some lens flare going on in here. Look at that. Welcome to the first episode of Better Than Food. I'm just going to start off with the absolute best. What I think might be the greatest book ever written. It's not even my favorite book. What I feel just compares to absolutely nothing else. Just the best of the absolute best. In fact, the name Better Than Food came from an interview with the British author Jeff Noon when he was describing this book, and he called it Better Than Food. What book am I talking about? The Complete Collected Fictions of Jorge Luis Borges. You'll notice this is a library copy. Why is this a library copy? Because when you give this book out for your friends to read, they will steal it, as they should. There are people out there who believe that you can't enjoy a book unless you know a great deal about its author. I tend to think that is absolutely bullshit. But I realize that it presents a nice context in which to understand and perhaps augment the experience of reading something like this. So, Jorge Luis Borges was an Argentine author. He was born in 1899. He was a massive influence on the Latin American boom, which saw writers rise to fame such as Gabriel Garcia Marquez and Julio Cortázar, both of whom will appear later on this channel. I don't even know where to begin. You know, his themes range from like history and philosophy to religion and dreams and myths and books and mirrors. He was terrified of mirrors. He was a poet and he was also a translator. He spoke several different languages fluently. He spoke English fluently, and there's actually a series of lectures down in the description box that he gave in the 60s when he was already blind. In his mid-50s, he actually went blind, and he never learned to read Braille, which is really interesting when you think, well, how did this, writer not reading Braille, He would write about these incredibly unique characters and environments that I can't even, to describe them would sound even kind of like silly, almost, because it's such a personal experience reading a Borges short story. But he did come up with this conundrum, this ontological issue, which is really fascinating. Which is it's this question, does the author write the story, or does the story write the author? Basically, it came from this. I think it came from, and he mentions it in the lecture at least. It came from this moment during this ancient Chinese philosopher's life when he woke up from a dream where in the dream he thought he was a butterfly. It was a man dreaming about himself being a butterfly. But when he woke up, he couldn't figure out if he was a man who had dreamt about being a butterfly or if he was a butterfly dreaming about being a man. Again, to speak about this is not even going to do it justice, but I'm gonna try. You're gonna find things about widowed Chinese pirates out on revenge. You're gonna find a story about a leper king who wears a golden mask of a bull, who travels with two blind men who are blind because, according to him, they've looked upon my face. Libraries to scale and size of the universe where people search for the book of their lives. Stories about the very early gangs of New York. That was totally awesome. And my personal favorite, The Circular Ruins, which is about a man who decides to create another man by dreaming him. That story has literally just rendered me to tears, just on the spot, bawling, sobbing. This is like a 4-page short story. This man is incredible. It doesn't get better than this. It has quite possibly the greatest ending I have ever read. So the ideas in this book are so compelling, such perfectly distilled tales of master genius, that I can only advise you to immediately get a copy. Whether you go to the library, whether you buy it at the bookstore, or whether you steal it, it is worth jail time. There's life before Borges, and there's life after Borges, and I would simply recommend this book to anyone, everywhere, ever. This is actually an exceptional edition too. This is all bound and like laminated and crap, but the actual, the one you can buy at the store is just a really beautiful book. The paper is just nice and gorgeous. Roberto Bolaño, one of my favorite Latin American authors, who actually, he moved to Spain, but I could call him Spanish. One of my favorite Spanish authors, Roberto Bolaño, actually said that if he could just read one book for the rest of his life, this would absolutely be it. He would just hide under a table, eat snacks, and read Borges for the rest of his life. That it sounds crazy, but once you read the book, you understand it's a world unto itself. It's a universe unto itself. It does, you enter his own reality, or irreality, some critics would like to call it. When you read it, I would love to know what you think. Leave some comments below. Please subscribe. And always remember what John Waters said. If you go home with someone and they don't have books, don't fuck them. Have a great day.